보고 계시죠? 시작으로 10분당 한 명씩 죽는 거야, 알았어?
You think you know Hyun-bin? Think again! Beyond his picture-perfect life with Son Ye-jin, there's a side of him the media rarely covers. Let's uncover the untold truth about his personal life. Plus, we've got a bonus Hyun-bin fact that you won't get to hear anywhere else. Stick until the end to find out. On September 25th, 1982, Kim Tae-pyang, later famously known as Hyun-bin, was born as the youngest of two brothers. They came from a middle-class family in Seoul, South Korea. Growing up, Hyun-bin's hopes and dreams were filled with the same imaginations of a normal child, as one of his first aspirations was to become a detective. In high school, he was encouraged by a senior to join the theater club, where he practiced acting and found a calling for the craft. It seemed like fate had knocked on Hyun-bin's door to carry a clue about his future, because one day in those years, Hyun-bin was riding on the back of a friend's motorcycle when an unexpected man suddenly shouted for them to stop. Carrying no driver's license, Hyun-bin's friend kept driving while the man continued to catch up to them until the road ended. It was at that point that the man revealed himself to be a worker from a talent management agency and handed Hyun-bin his business card to give him a call. By then, Hyun-bin had already realized that he wanted to pursue acting as a career and see himself on the big and small screens. When Hyun-bin appeared on You Quiz the Block, he revealed how he would often skip classes to practice in plays. When his parents found out, his father called him. While Hyun-bin grew up in a generally supportive family, his parents, being academics, opposed his desire to be a professional actor. Hyun-bin, however, wasn't keen on giving up. He truly felt that acting was his calling, and after 2 years of persuasion, he finally got his parents on board. But on one condition. His parents would only allow him to pursue acting if he got into Chungang University, the best university for acting in South Korea, and he did so. He then graduated from the university and then started to build his career in the early 2000s. Hyun-bin had a rough start on acting. For instance, his first film Shower in 2002 was never released because it didn't have enough funding. But for him, that wasn't the end of the line. With a few movies and shows here and there, it wasn't until 2005 that Hyun-bin shot to fame through the rom-com My Lovely Sam Soon.
나랑 얘기 좀 합시다.
The man who almost wasn't permitted to get into acting and whose first movie was halted was finally recognized. Long story short, the world was finally beginning to get to know him. Hyun-bin won the Top Excellence Award at the MBC Drama Awards in 2006. And if we're speaking through numbers, My Lovely Sam Soon also currently holds the title of being the highest-rated Korean drama of all time. Overnight, Hyun-bin became a Hallyu star, and not only had his name sparked so much interest in South Korea, but he also found his way to Japan and other countries in Asia. This was just the beginning. If you would ask anyone during the late 2000s and 10s in South Korea who Hyun-bin was, there was no doubt they'd know who you were talking about. By this time, Hyun-bin was already a household name. Although there was already a level of comfort with where he was in his career, Hyun-bin had a legacy to cement. Having been known as the guy from the rom-coms of South Korea, Hyun-bin decided that he had to do more. He had to be more. He then sought to expand his acting profile, choosing unconventional roles and projects. The range of his acting widened as he starred in the 2008 film I Am Happy as a Man Who Suffered from a Mental Illness. He also portrayed a sociopath in the 2009 film Friend, Our Legend. With Friend, Our Legend, Hyun-bin's dedication was put to display when it was said that he watched the original film from Kwak Kyung-taek over 20 times to prepare for the role. In 2010, he also starred in Secret Garden, giving him much more prominence as an actor. The romantic fantasy drama was so popular that it gained a high viewership rating of 35%. And because of that, Hyun-bin scored multiple endorsement deals, propelling him to be dubbed as Korea's CF King, CF being what Koreans call commercials. His role as Kim Joo-won created the Hyun-bin syndrome as he was quite literally everywhere. From newspapers to television to posters to the internet, there was simply no way of escaping Hyun-bin. While Hyun had already proven himself to be a powerhouse of talent and skill in acting, he was met with criticism when he returned. Hyun starred in his first period film, The Fatal Encounter, and his performance did not sit well with the audience. Hyun received reviews such as his lack of emotions in the film and his flat intonation, but he immediately bounced back. On the big screen, Hyun starred as a North Korean detective in the 2017 film Confidential Assignment. This time, the reviews turned in his favor with how he portrayed the movie's action and comedic scenes. In 2018, Hyun starred with Son Ye-jin, who would soon become his wife, in The Negotiation. It was his first role as a villain. He also had a small screen project with Park Shin-hye on Memories of the Alhambra, which ultimately became one of the highest-rated Korean dramas in television history. It was evident that Hyun was nothing short of an upward trajectory in his career. In 2019, he starred as a North Korean army captain in Crash Landing on You with Son Ye-jin, the series becoming the 5th highest-rated Korean drama in TV history. Hyun won the grand prize of the Apan Star Awards for his portrayal of Captain Ri Jong. Hyun Bin's latest project now revolves around the 2024 film Harbin. In the movie, he plays An Jung-gun, a Korean independence fighter who sought to assassinate Japanese Prime Minister Ito Hirobumi at Harbin Station. Hyun's dedication to the role was substantiated when Harbin's filming sought to authentically imitate An's struggle in remote locations across Mongolia, Korea, and Latvia. He was subjected to harsh weather conditions, muddy terrains, and cold, snowy mountains for intense battle scenes. Hyun's acting was not just limited to physically demanding sequences. With Harbin in particular, he explained that the real struggle lies in how taxing it was mentally to think about how An felt at the time they were plotting the assassination. There were also the challenges of dealing with the worries and the death of his comrades. Harbin was released in theaters in December 2024. It immediately dominated South Korea's box office for nearly 2 weeks, raking in $24.84 million as of January 5th, 2025. If Hyun isn't on the screens, his presence is also felt in various social causes that he champions, putting his fame and fortune for the greater good. In one example, he posed with a retired search and rescue dog named Vision as part of a campaign against animal cruelty. At the height of the pandemic, Hyun secretly donated 200 million won to the Community Chest of Korea to help fight COVID-19. And just recently in 2025, Hyun, along with his wife Son Ye-jin, had talked about their guilt as they see their children grow up healthy and thought about others who are not as fortunate. The couple donated 300 million won to the Asan and Samsung Medical Center to support children and women in need. For all his initiatives, Hyun became part of the Honor Society, a group of major private donors across South Korea. For the most part, Hyun Bin keeps his private life private. However, it's no secret that he's married to his Crash Landing on You co-star Son Ye-jin. They began dating in 2020 after the series concluded. They then married each other in 2022 in a private ceremony. In the same year, the couple announced the pregnancy of their first son together. Their son has been shielded from the media, but on the rare instance that Hyun gives details, he iterates that their baby resembles Son Ye-jin a lot more, and how his life has changed since the birth of his son. This happened around the filming of Harbin. Getting married and having a child has changed me so much. My thoughts and responsibilities have shifted, said Hyun. I used to live with myself at the center, but now my child and my wife have become the center of my life. My son and Son Ye-jin are my top priorities, and I'm second. And with our bonus fact, did you know that Hyun Bin is seriously into sailing? He even got a yacht license just to make it official. It's part of the reason why he's frequently seen in Omega watch campaigns with models designed for sailing enthusiasts. Hyun Bin and Son Ye-jin might be the most famous K-drama couple, but they're not the only ones who took their romance off-screen. Discover more real-life K-drama couples by clicking on this video.